As we get closer to the end of the federal EV tax credit, the question that more and more people are asking themselves is whether now is the right time to buy an electric vehicle. Even with the tax credit still available, many are wondering if an EV is actually affordable for them. Then comes the bigger concern. What happens when the credit is gone? Can an EV still make financial sense without it? And more specifically, can the average buyer realistically afford a Tesla? For a long time, Tesla vehicles carried a reputation for being premium-priced products that were simply out of reach for most consumers. Early Model S and Model X vehicles reinforced that idea, with prices that clearly positioned Tesla as a luxury brand. But that perception no longer fully reflects reality. Over the last several years, Tesla has aggressively lowered prices, improved manufacturing efficiency, and expanded production to make its vehicles far more accessible than they once were. That said, Tesla still has work to do before offering a truly mass-market vehicle that starts comfortably, under $40,000 without incentives, and especially one that comes in under $30,000. That goal is clearly on Tesla's roadmap, but it is not quite here yet. As things stand today, Tesla's most affordable vehicles begin a little over $40,000 before incentives. Even so, the real-world cost to own a Tesla is not always as high as people assume. And that's where things get interesting. Having owned multiple Teslas over the years, I want to break down what the true cost of ownership actually looks like. Not just the sticker price, but the full picture: purchase price, taxes, fees, financing, insurance, and ongoing costs. I'll share what I personally pay and what a new buyer might reasonably expect to pay today. Once you see the numbers laid out, it becomes much easier to answer the question of whether a Tesla is affordable for you. To do this properly, I'm going to walk through the costs associated with two different Tesla vehicles that I have purchased. One is a 2024 Model 3 that I bought outright using financing. The other is a 2026 Model Y that I am leasing. These two vehicles represent the most common choices for people considering a Tesla today, and they also highlight the differences between purchasing and leasing. Before diving into my personal examples, it's important to look at Tesla's current lineup and pricing. Tesla's cheapest vehicle at the moment is the Model 3. It's a very practical car overall. It seats 5 people, has respectable trunk space, and works extremely well as a daily driver. However, it is still a sedan, and that body style doesn't work for everyone. This is a big reason why the Model Y has become Tesla's best-selling vehicle. Many buyers prefer the higher seating position, hatchback design, and added cargo space. As of now, the Model 3 starts at $42,490 before incentives. This base price actually applies to the longest-range rear-wheel drive version, which is a bit unusual compared to how many automakers structure their entry-level trims. If you step up to the long-range all-wheel drive Model 3, the price increases by $5,000, bringing it to $47,490. At the top of the lineup is the Performance Model 3, which starts at $54,990 and delivers extremely quick acceleration, along with upgraded suspension and performance features. Beyond the base trims, Tesla offers a handful of optional upgrades. Paint colors can add anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 depending on the color you choose. Larger wheels cost $1,500. A black and white interior upgrade adds $1,000. Then there is full self-driving, which can be purchased upfront for $8,000 and stays with the car permanently. When you add everything together, the cheapest possible Model 3 comes in at $42,490, while a fully loaded performance version with all options pushes the price up to $62,990. Those numbers, however, are before applying the federal EV tax credit. If you qualify, that $7,500 credit can significantly change the equation. For example, applying the credit to the base Model 3 brings the effective price down to $34,990, which puts it right around $35,000. When you factor in fuel savings from not buying gas and lower maintenance costs compared to a gas-powered car, the Model 3 starts to look like an extremely compelling value for many buyers. The Model Y, however, is where most people end up. It is slightly more expensive than the Model 3, but it offers much more versatility. The long-range rear-wheel drive Model Y starts at $44,990. That's only about $2,500 more than the base Model 3, yet you get significantly more space and features. The Model Y includes a hatchback design, auto-folding rear seats, more cargo room, a HEPA air filtration system, and a noticeably better sound system in the base trim. Interestingly, the base Model 3 actually has a downgraded audio system, whereas the base Model Y shares the same upgraded system found in higher trims. The Model Y also includes front and rear light bars, a more commanding driving position, and an overall design that many people find more practical. Stepping up to the long-range all-wheel drive Model Y brings the price to $48,990, with the main difference being the addition of a second motor for all-wheel drive. A fully loaded Model Y with all available options comes in at $58,990. Once again, the EV tax credit can make a major difference. Subtracting $7,500 from the base Model Y brings the starting price down to $37,490. For many buyers, that puts the Model Y firmly within reach, especially when comparing it to similarly equipped gas-powered SUVs. If you are trying to decide whether you can afford a Tesla, realistically you are probably choosing between the Model 3 and the Model Y. These two vehicles offer the best value in Tesla's lineup by a wide margin. While the Model S and Model X offer additional luxury and performance, they come at a much higher cost. In many ways, the Model 3 and Model Y actually feel more refined and better built, largely because Tesla produces them in far greater volume and has optimized their manufacturing processes. Then there is the Cybertruck, which starts around $70,000, or about $62,490 with the tax credit. That vehicle occupies a completely different category and price point, so it's not usually part of the affordability conversation for most buyers. Of course, most people are not paying cash for these vehicles. Financing plays a huge role in determining affordability. So what does financing a Tesla actually look like? And how does leasing compare? Beyond that, what costs come after you buy the car? These are the questions that really determine whether a Tesla fits into your budget. Let's start with my 2024 Model 3 purchase. This was a financed purchase rather than a lease. The car is a rear-wheel drive Model 3 standard range, a trim that Tesla has since discontinued. Because of that, it was slightly cheaper than the equivalent Model 3 sold today. The newer version offers more range, but the pricing differences can still be adjusted for comparison. When you configure a Tesla, the first thing you'll notice is the base price and any upgrades you choose. On top of that, there is a destination fee of $1,390, which is non-negotiable. Every Tesla buyer pays this fee. Then there is the order fee, which is a $250 non-refundable deposit paid when you place your order. This is an additional cost that many people forget to factor in. Tesla's website does a decent job of estimating taxes and fees if you input the correct information. When you click on estimated taxes and fees, you'll see how much the total price increases based on your location. For example, in a high-tax area like Beverly Hills, taxes and fees can add nearly $7,000 to the price. In Phoenix, the same car might add around $6,181. These numbers vary significantly by zip code, so it's critical to check for your specific location. In the Phoenix example, the breakdown included the $1,390 destination fee, the $250 order fee, a small tire fee, $764 Australian dollars registration fee, and $3,774 in sales tax. All of this adds up quickly. When I financed my Model 3, I locked in an interest rate of 6.59%, which was fairly typical in early 2024. Compared to today's promotional rates, it looks quite high. Over the life of the loan, that interest rate meant I paid nearly $9,000 in financing charges alone. The base price of the car was $42,630. But once you add taxes, registration, and financing costs, the total cost of ownership exceeded $50,000. I put down $6,249.58 and financed $41,361. With a 72-month loan, my monthly payment came out to $696.96. Over 6 years, that adds up quickly. High interest rates can dramatically inflate the cost of a vehicle, which is why low or promotional APR offers can make such a huge difference at the time. I did not qualify for the EV tax credit, which made my monthly payment higher than it otherwise would have been. If I had qualified, the numbers would have looked much better. Tesla's configurator today might show an example like 2.99% APR with a small down payment and a monthly payment, around $619 for 60 months. However, these advertised deals often assume qualification for the tax credit and specific down payment amounts. So it's important to dig into the details. When you remove the tax credit and adjust the down payment to qualify for a lower APR, the monthly payment can jump significantly. Add the tax credit back in, and the payment drops again. This is why interest rates and incentives play such a crucial role in affordability. For the Model Y, the situation is similar but slightly more expensive due to the higher base price and sometimes higher interest rates. You may also need a larger down payment to qualify for promotional APRs. If you do not qualify for the tax credit, one additional discount worth mentioning is Tesla's referral program. If you use a referral link from a friend who owns a Tesla, both of you receive benefits. At times, this has included discounts of up to $2,000. Currently, it often includes 3 months of full self-driving on the Model 3 and Model Y. These offers change frequently, so it's always worth checking. After purchasing the car, the next unavoidable cost is insurance. Tesla offers its own insurance product in several states. In California, it functions like a traditional insurance policy. In other states, Tesla uses a safety score based on driving behavior to adjust your monthly rate. This score is tracked through the Tesla app, which creates a very different insurance experience compared to traditional providers. When I first signed up for Tesla insurance in 2020, my 6-month premium for a Model Y was $851.83, or about $142 per month. Over time, rates have changed. Today, with multiple cars on my policy, I pay about $80 per month for my Model 3 and around $102 per month for a 2022 Model Y. Rates will vary widely depending on location, driving history, and coverage, but Tesla insurance has been competitive for me. Beyond insurance, there are ongoing savings that often get overlooked. Charging at home is significantly cheaper than buying gas, especially if you can take advantage of off-peak electricity rates. Maintenance costs are also much lower, since there are no oil changes, fewer moving parts, and reduced brake wear due to regenerative braking. When you put all of this together, the true cost to own a Tesla is not just about the sticker price. Taxes, fees, interest rates, insurance, and incentives all play major roles. For many people, especially those who qualify for the EV tax credit and secure a low interest rate, a Tesla can be far more affordable than it initially appears.